lump. And we all go into experiencing a chastisement because I didn't deal with it, or I didn't ask about it, or I didn't examine the situation. If you're a leader, you have to. I understand there's others that are just following the leader, but I hope the leader takes it serious. I hope the leader takes it serious, or you just need to find one guy that you really know is walking with the Lord, and then just the two of you go out. Because I don't need 15 guys. I don't even need the 5 guys that we go out with all the time. All of us have to take 20 minutes to preach. I can preach for 2 hours. Bill can preach for 2 hours. I mean, Jake can preach for 2 hours. I mean, you just take 2 preachers, 4 hours is taken up. It's gone. So I'm not looking for numbers. I'm looking for men that are anointed, that have power, that are walking in conviction, that have no animosity, any covered sin or bitterness. Everything is laid bare. They have a perfect rest. And then when I enter into their rest, I'm entering into their rest. I'm entering into how they are living and walking, and I experience that through him. And if 2 of us are going out and I don't really have a word or anything stirred, and he does, and he gets up and he starts preaching, he's on fire, and he's preaching. Man, the Holy Spirit's speaking. I get caught on fire. I get moved. Like, man, I'm going, yeah. And all of a sudden things start flowing because I'm entering in to the glory of the Lord. It's beautiful. The spiritual warfare that happens in that time is incredible. But it doesn't happen if there's malice or bitterness, or people are talking and there's all this conversation in the secret places. And then you come into a group. It just doesn't get covered because you're at some big event. It's still there. And I want to see souls get saved. I want to see the power of God manifested. Signs and wonders are supposed to follow those who preach the word. I want to see people get saved, disciples. I want to make disciples. I want to duplicate myself. I want to say, hey, follow me as I follow Jesus. Do what I do. Copy me. Whatever I do, you do. Well, I surely want to be transparent and lay everything and say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is how I do it. And so I want to encourage you that to be called to street ministry, street preaching, the spiritual warfare intensifies. And I want you to be ready. And I want you to take captive those thoughts and tear them down. If anything comes in and you have a question about something, about what that man did, or how that man preached, or why did he say that, then you have to ask him. Get alone with him, ask him, and he'll share with you. Or he might just confess, like I do many times, I shouldn't have done that. It was wrong. Don't follow that. You know. And sometimes, I mean, in Vegas, I had an attitude about somebody that came up to me. I said something about his girlfriend. And, I copped a bad attitude. Again, back to attitude. And I saw it. And Bill, he saw it too. And I said, oh, Bill, help me. I need someone to intercede, man. I need to get back in the spirit. I was in the flesh. It happens this fast. I mean, you could be preaching and you're in the spirit and it's flowing, and then all of a sudden the enemy comes up by a sinner and he makes this comment, and then you just turn to him and you call him some name, and you shouldn't even call them the name. You devalued him. We need to honor people. We need to value people. And if we value what God values, God must value these sinners. God must value these people. What kind of attitude are we going to do? Is just belittle them, or just say you guys are just, rotten? And well, guess what? I was rotten. I was wicked. I was a sinner, and Jesus saved me. And so this whole attitude, the spiritual warfare that is coming, you got to be there, and we got to pray for one another, and you got to go see the guy so he can at least confess, or at least explain what was going on during that time. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, when we talk afterwards, some of the things that we share with one another are hard. I mean, most street preachers, you think they have thick skin, but oh, man, they get offended really easily. But you know what I mean? We just have to stand alongside one another and encourage, to exhort, and to admonish. Admonish is a gentle rebuke, and that we would come under. But you sure do have access to men when you love them, and you preach with them, you support them, even when they fall. And that's why I'm so blessed to have men around me that when I fall, they don't just, throw me under the bus and, run over me back and forth. I have a lot of enemies. I have a lot of people that hate me and speak against me, and I'm telling you, that's the enemy out there. But I pray for my enemies. I want to do good to those who spitefully use me. And this is the spiritual battle. Can you do that? Can you walk in the Spirit and pray for your enemies? Can you lay down your life for your enemies? Can you humble yourself, come in humility, and allow others to exalt you instead of trying to exalt yourself? You got to be selfless. Less of you and more of Him, Jesus. And I want to encourage you to walk in this and to apply these principles I'm telling you. And then when you come home from the event, just expect, the enemy to try to stir up just discord, try to stir up all kinds of things. Your business will have crashed, or just all kinds of things happen in the home. And if you know and you're ready, you walk in. Oh, you're gentle, you're calm. You know that these things, you're tearing down those things. Oh, I love you, honey. Oh, everything, you're moving. And knowing that you cause great damage to the kingdom of darkness, and you're still causing great damage because you're still walking with Jesus. And the way you love your wife, the way you raise your kids, the way you go to work on time, all those things all matter with the authority and power that you will have against the principalities and the powers and the spiritual wickedness in the heavenly places, because you're filled with the Spirit. And no longer you live, no longer I live, but it's Christ in me. The Holy Spirit lives in me and gives me all the authority and power and dominion to do damage to the kingdom and push it back. And that's what God has called you to do. And so I'll see you on the streets.